Hello and welcome back to the Project Hercules Diaries, where as you can see we have the back wheel spindle out and the mudguard off, so we can think about fitting the two chains, getting the clearances right and fit the plates to hold the gearbox while we continue to work on the cylinder head. In order to do that, the two rear sprockets I've machined out on the Bridgeport so they fit over the wheel spacers, so I can put the wheel in solid with the wheel spacers, hang the sprockets on the spacers and then line everything up. I've done that on the Bridgeport, which always takes ages. Boring something on a milling machine always takes a lot longer than boring it on a lathe, but it was just easier to mount them in there. And I'm going to have to do that exercise again to take that center spindle out further once I've lined up everything so it fits on the new spacer that fits to the hub that I haven't made yet. No update last week because we were away for the weekend chasing the sun. So what does that mean? Well, it pretty much means exactly that, chasing the sun. So we went to Skegness on the Friday night and we got up early on Saturday morning to watch the sunrise on the beach. Then we rode off to Aberystwyth, which is on the west coast, and then we watched the sunset on the beach, and it was brilliant. All to celebrate the equinox, not for any particular reason, just because we can. Now, it's about 540 miles complete round trip, and we did it on the Blackbird. This is a Honda Blackbird, and it is a beautiful machine for doing long distance touring. And I like this bike because just like in Spinal Tap, where the knobs go up to 11, the speedo on this goes all the way up to 200 miles an hour. And even though the bike isn't quite that quick, it's just great because people walking past stop and look at the speedo and go, ooh, look at that. So yes, easy to do on a Honda Blackbird if you live in the UK. If you live in America, obviously it's a little more challenging to watch the sunrise on the east coast and the sunset in the west. You probably need the other kind of Blackbird for that, SR71. Anyway, you might have noticed the swarf in the corner there. The swarf is about to go in the recycling when I can get round to taking it to the tip, and that is pure aluminium swarf. We've had barrels and barrels of this. This is the last few bits now from making the cylinder head, which is in the other shed. So I'm just going to teleport over there and have a look at the head. No, not your head, the other head, the cylinder head. The cylinder head that we're making, although Bob's doing most of the work, which has been drawn out here with the larger decompressor and the larger holes for decompression and the spark plug hole moved over to the side. So it's right behind me on the big Churchill. It's going to look a little bit like the original Bristol Hercules cylinder head, with a couple of small differences. The first being that it won't be domed like that, it'll be domed the other way. It'll still have the grooves for the rings on the head. It still have the center board out, but it will also have a big decompressor if we need to fit one. So here it is, right there in the big Churchill lathe. So a couple of points here. We are getting ready to cut the two grooves for the piston rings, and that's proving quite challenging because the rings are tapered in profile. They're not flat rings, they've got a taper on them as they go in. So we've either got to make a very well formed tool to cut them, or we've got to mount something on here that we can set at 5 degrees taper angle so we can go in from either side. And I think the latter is what we're planning to do. So we've taken out the inside, I don't know if you can see, but the inside has been shallowed out, it's been hollowed out down to depth. And what we plan to do is to drill the holes and bolt this on and try turning it over with the cylinder head in without any spark plug holes or without any decompressor, and see if the dyno starts up to the job. And if it is up to the job, we won't need to go ahead and make a decompressor. If not, I suspect it won't be, but it's quite a simple thing to do. So we'll try that before we go and machine the rest of it and fit the decompressor. The other thing of note with the cylinder head is that the material we're making it out of, aluminium, has got quite a high coefficient of expansion compared to the original cylinder head. The original cylinder head here is a composite, so it's made up of a number of parts, and it's something like Inconel. It's incredibly heavy. It's pretty much all steel or cast iron, but it is composite parts. So Inconol's got a very low coefficient of expansion. So what we don't want to happen is for the new cylinder head to expand and grip on the sleeve and then have the whole engine come to a grinding halt. That would be a real shame. So we've made the new cylinder head, we've done some calculations, about 20,000 undersize, and we'll just put a shim around this ring here when we mark out the holes. So that should prevent the engine from seizing up, because we wouldn't want that, and it should give us a nice sort of cooling help to keep it cool as well. So that's where we're at with the head. It isn't finished, but work has been undertaken, even though we've been away for the weekend. So there we go. As usual, more updates will follow. Thanks for watching.